scarlet blaze. The rising darkness. Having smashed the kingdom's last desperate defense, the Empire takes the battle north. Further pressure from the Alliance to the east forces King Dimitri to make a difficult choice. Will the Empire and Alliance prevail and unite Fodlan? Just as all begin to entertain the possibility, those most opposed to the idea finally emerge from the shadows.
Apparently, it started with attacks by bandits and insurgents, which touched off a widespread revolt. The people have taken to the streets, and now Hrym and Ordelia territory are in total chaos.
We have no choice but to intervene. At present, it is just Hrym territory. But if the unrest spreads to neighboring Imperial lands, there will be no water cask large enough to quench the flames.
Especially if the fires were intentionally set. And yet, redeploying our forces to deal with the unrest could be exactly what they're after.
I believe it is, Your Majesty. With the aid of the Alliance, we were on the brink of securing the kingdom's surrender. The war was all but decided. It seems certain parties were not at all happy with that particular arrangement.
Are you sure we have to deal with it right now? Why not go back once we finish up in the kingdom?
And go back to what, exactly? An empire in flames?
Sounds like we don't have a choice.
No one is more reluctant than I am to turn back when victory is within our grasp. But it is the only option. Fortunately, the kingdom now lacks the soldiers to take advantage and regain their lost territory. We'll leave enough troops to hold the line and take the main force east at speed. I'll have Count Burgleys take position at Arian Road.
That sounds exhausting. But you're the boss.
Do you mind if I just slink off to my room and... Oh, here come the dagger eyes. Never mind.
If it's settled, let's not waste another second. Every moment we delay means more suffering for the innocent people who are caught up in this.
Going to Hrymland will take us close to Ire. Needless to say, I am in favor of departing at once.
Let's go find the masterminds behind this mess and send them to meet their maker.
But how will we be telling the innocent people from those who are causing trouble? A fair point. If we're too reckless, many good people are going to be killed.
Only one thing to do. Let's get to Hrym territory and sort this out.
I have a proposition.
Do you think this might work? We need to work with what we have.
Shall we?
Oh hey, looks like I'm not the first one to show up.
Hello there. No need to pay me any mind. I'll just be absorbed in my book here. I assume you've come to meet someone? As they've clearly not arrived yet, why don't you join me? Here.
Thanks. Hey, Linhardt, you're into all that spooky magic stuff, right? Like sorcery and crests and whatnot?
Yes. Why? Is there something you'd like to ask me?
Oh, no. I was just thinking it's kind of weird that you've never really been interested in my power.
Do you want me to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand it myself. But with you helping me, I might actually learn something. That and Hubert scared me half to death talking about how you might experiment on me. And just so we're clear, I'm not into that.
Uh-huh. Well, not everything piques my interest. Your circumstances simply do not.
If you're not interested, then so be it. But is there any particular reason why?
Hard to say. Perhaps because a sword is the only thing you're able to manifest? Strictly speaking, I suppose your power does raise some questions. But that sinister weapon of yours, it just doesn't leave me all that interested in learning more.
Sinister, huh? Well, that's one way to describe it.
Tell me, have you ever beheld one of the hero's relics? They also possess the most peculiar aura. And yet, there's something almost divine about the terror they instill. But your sword? It's cold. Maybe even inhuman. In more complex terms, it's little more than an inorganic, dispassionate construct. Not a hint of the goddess's divine guidance in its design. It's not as if you were able to choose what you manifested, right? It just came to you.
True, but what if I could turn it into something else and start manifesting different things? Would you be interested then?
Is such a thing possible? I would like to see that for myself, I must admit. In fact, I'd be quite excited by that. What a fascinating topic to lay at my feet.
Hey, it was just a suggestion. I have no idea if I can actually do it.
But aren't you the one who brought it up?
Ah, Bernadetta. I see the documents I was waiting for have finally arrived.
Hubert! I'm not doing anything bad!
Then would you be so kind as to hand those over? They are addressed to me, after all.
Oh, right. Edelgard asked me to bring them. Phew, that was heavy. What are all these documents anyway?
Old records of bandit activity in this area that I need for my investigation.
Hey, that reminds me. I heard we had a group of bandits cornered, but they sort of got away.
Yes, a most vexing development. It beggars belief that our troops prove unable to exterminate even these few stray vermin.
Wait, are you angry?
Oh, I doubt it is worth raising my ire over.
That's good. But you look like you're angry.
Bernadetta, are you aware of how your persistence often leads to the very outcome you wish to avoid?
Yes?
In any event, my mood is what it is because I must now locate a den of rats. I will need to research previous stomping grounds, then cross-reference the location of their old lairs in order to work out where this new one might be.
Wow, that sounds like a ton of work.
Yes, but there is nothing for it. These craven rats will not re-emerge once they've burrowed into their nests.
Hey, neat! I definitely understand the desire to burrow in somewhere and never come out. But when there are festivals and stuff, they might slip up and leave? Maybe? Possibly? Everyone loves festivals, except when there are people around, which is usually the case.
Somehow I suspect you would not emerge for even the most magnificent of carnivals. However, you and the rats may differ on that point.
We do what now?
Yes, of course. Unlike you, these thieves have no particular desire to live away from others. We have had them on the run for some time, which means they've not been able to earn coin through their usual underhanded work. Thus, if I were to prepare a place where they could cut a few easy purses, they might consider the spoils to be worth the risk.
Okay.
And the bait shall be a festival. Due to the war, we have not held a genuine festival for quite some time, after all. So even if we do not capture the rodents, and it merely brings much-needed succor to the people, I would still consider it a success. Well done, Bernadetta. You have come up with a splendid idea that eluded even myself.
Why are you complimenting me out of nowhere? Are you plotting against me?
Not particularly, no. Although I am thinking I will require your assistance in this matter from now on.
No! Someone free poor Bernie from this torment!
Do I want to know what you two are talking about?
Is it not obvious? We are debating who might be behind the recent disturbance in the peace.
And what's your answer?
Lord Arundel, Tomas, Kranya, those who slither in the dark. We may have ousted them from power in Enbar, but we knew it was not the end of their vile schemes. Which is why we have been preparing for the day they bared their fangs once more.
Granted, we lack solid proof they are behind this. But it is the most likely explanation considering the scale of the revolts, as well as where and when they all occurred.
I'll keep that in mind on the battlefield. Oh, and for the record, I like this part where you all trust me enough to tell me what's going on.
A strategy I strongly oppose. But Her Majesty insisted we keep you in the loop.
Must you always antagonize Hubert?
I merely state fact. Though I will admit you saved the Emperor's life once. Still, I would not be shocked in the slightest if you suddenly changed your colors and tried to kill her. Yet sharing such knowledge with you achieves a dual purpose. It helps prevent those who slither in the dark from using you, and it gives ample justification to dispose of you, should you betray us.
You never change, Hubert. At this point, I don't know how I'd react if you did.
You may not have Hubert's trust, but you have mine. I'll be counting on you as always in the battles to come. If those who slither in the dark appear, we must strike them down.
The fight starts now.
Striking swiftly is our best chance.
I will ensure that what needs to be done is done.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over.
Right then. I will see my duty done.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must...
Bringing it down. You'll have to take things from here.
Don't mind if I do.
Begin.
Still fight! Retreat! We need backup! Please, hurry!
Our time has finally come.
You know what they say about playing with fire.
I have finished with great success.
The stronghold's ours. I've got you now!
Can't fight like this. I'm bleeding all over the place.
It's no use. We can't gain any ground.
It's nothing personal. Someone was put to right. I will get vengeance. Success was to be expected.
Still standing when the battle's over.
Your power walks the line of darkness. It is great enough to overrun the battlefield.
We're not losing to anyone!
Here goes!
Here they must learn who they're up against.
Right then. I was...
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
Sorry, but I can't. Fall back.
You'll have to take things from here.
Wait.
Stand back.
It's no use. We can't gain any ground.
Not a problem.
Watch this!
Looks like that's it for us.
How does that please you?
They must look.
We can ill afford defeat here.
Take a breather. Won't be a problem anymore. Too easy.
Show me what you're capable of.
Rejoice! Victory is ours!
Everywhere you turn, you see another gruesome sight. Look what they've done to the homes, the fields, the people.
These bandits are like rats. They're nothing alone, but if you let them band together...
I've been here before. It was a long time ago, sure, but I can't believe this is all that's left.
Apparently, the first thing they did was find and kill Viscount Hrym stand-in, along with the rest of the local magistrates. With no one in charge, the bandits have taken free reign of the place.
Assassinations too? They've cut us deep indeed.
But why were they killing the leaders instead of taking them hostage? Are they not wanting control of the land?
It would seem their interest is little more than unadulterated chaos. Someone clearly does not wish Fodlan to be united beneath the Empire's flag.
This is a sick way to show it, though I imagine there is a method to their madness.
Even I won't let myself run away from a situation like this!
We need to restore order as quickly as possible and return to the Kingdom front. Once I've brought an end to the war, I will never permit something this ghastly to happen again.
to assist with any matters regarding the facilities. Let me know if I may be of further service.
Time to work you into shape.
Well, this'll take...
All is...
This is a wait.
Giving less than...
Death.
Can't wait to see how you do.
Yes, that looks right.
Why, hello, Linhart. It is not often I find you drawing outside.
I'm not drawing. I'm simply trying to capture this wyvern's form. See? It's resting on that hill over there.
Ah, an extraordinary sight indeed. Now then, let us see what you have done so far. I must say, it feels as though something is lacking in your work. How can I describe it? Your depiction is almost too accurate. Take these scales, for example. Why, they could have been plucked from the very wyvern itself.
I told you this isn't art. I'm doing it for my research. And when conducting research, it's always best to have precise references. The same is true when dealing with numbers or gathering information.
I see. So you value accuracy above all else.
Right. Honestly, I've never quite understood art anyway. So I'm perfectly content leaving that sort of thing to the true creatives. You know, the quirky ones. People like Bernadetta.
Even so, there may come a day when your work is seen as the craft of a master artisan, when such precision is lauded as the height of aesthetic genius.
What makes you say that?
Oh, merely a passing thought. Perhaps in the distant future, connoisseurs will value accuracy and attention to detail over the magnificent interpretive pieces we hold dear today.
Do you really think that'll happen, though? I doubt people will ever stop appreciating the ancient classics. You certainly have always done so.
Yes, there is no denying that. But I fear my own personal inclinations hold little sway over public opinion. Nobody knows what trends may arise in the decades and centuries to come. So I can indeed envision a future in which accurate depictions are praised just the same as the greats of old. And I encourage you to do the same, my friend.
I don't get it. How are you so optimistic all the time? It's like you're constantly looking toward the future.
I could say quite the same about you. I have always believed you to be rather forward-thinking.
That's not optimism, though. All I'm thinking forward to is the time when I can just sleep the days away. That's why I'm forcing myself to be as active as I can now.
Regrettably, those halcyon days of slumber are still but a distant dream. I have much work for you, both now and further down the road. To begin with, might I ask you to paint my portrait?
For the last time, I'm a researcher, not an artist. Are you sure you want such a faithful depiction?
That is exactly what I want. How else would my yet unborn descendants know the true visage of the great Ferdinand von Eyre? Indeed, I would be proud to submit myself as a subject of your research. Consider it a study in the personification of nobility itself.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm fine drawing you, but I don't have the slightest modicum of interest in actually researching you. Though, I do sometimes wonder where you get all that unabashed confidence from. I'm tired. Time to find a good spot for a nap. Bernadetta? Why are you skulking in the weeds?
No reason! Not getting in the way of two people's love at all! No, sir!
Huh? But I'm alone here. I see. That.
Yeah, that! I was out walking when I saw them. A man and a woman together in the woods, getting,
Well, neither of them seems to be dead yet.
They're on a secret date, you dummy! Not fighting!
Regardless, how does two lovers stealing a moment alone lead to you curled up here in the fetal position?
Because I'm hiding! I mean, if I messed up their date, they might try to get revenge on me!
Relax. To them, you're no different than a pebble on the side of the road.
Hey, I'm not a pebble! I mean, sure, sometimes I wish I was just a rock, but...
Then just roll away quietly and you'll be fine.
Just roll away quietly. Hey, yeah! Wait, no! They'd see me! Stop trying to get me killed!
We've made enough racket over here to raise the dead and they haven't even noticed. I think it's safe to say they're off in their own little world. Still, good for them, sharing words of love when either one could die tomorrow.
Wait, they could die tomorrow?
They're both soldiers who serve on the front lines. I doubt a rosy future awaits them.
No, that's not true! Couples swearing their love and defying destiny are a staple of classic fiction!
Sure, but the fact it wouldn't happen in reality is what makes it such a good story, right?
Well, wait, but there are tons of stories where two people who have sworn their love don't ever meet again.
Likely because that's something people are familiar with from their own lives.
Okay, so which is it? I believe those two can be happy together, so they can, right?
I hope that's the case, but reality is cruel. Anyway, I've talked myself right to sleep.
Huh? Come on, don't sleep there! Uh-oh. Guess I'd better try that turn into a pebble and roll away quietly plan.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat. Can't wait to see how you do. Time to work you into shape.
We've definitely got some work to do.
I see the merits in our training together.
Listen.
That felt good. Let's do it again.
Training, can't wait to see how you do.
The fight starts now.
battle will be another victory I lay upon Lady Edelgard's road to glory.
Yeah, we can win this.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Right then. I will see.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
I can still fight!
We'll have these defenses crippled in short order.
The enemy stronghold will be ours.
No, not yet.
Bringing it down.
Don't mind if I do. Not a problem. I've got...
Stand back.
By my command, lock!
Here I go. No mistakes. I'll provide some protection.
Right then. Let us go to work.
Begin. The Sky...
Take a breather. Perhaps we will incorporate this territory into our future strategies. This stronghold will fall!
Escape is our only option.
None will pass on my watch.
Out of the way! Attack! Give them no quarter!
Stand back.
We must do something.
The stronghold's ours. Take it.
I do hope you'll make this fun.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Not a problem.
It's no use. We can't gain any ground.
All done. What is the next order? I am sorry. I thought we held a victory in our hands.
Right then. Let us go to work. I will see my team.
Not a problem. I've got it. Take a breather.
I'm swapping it.
Watch this!
Is it my turn?
Strong and watch for an opportunity to strike back.
My turn.
Stand back.
Take a breather. On to the next one.
You are truly a force for reckoning.
Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done! Take this!
Rejoice! Victory is ours!
Yeah, not bad.
What if we tried this? Just leave everything to me.
That's up.
Greetings! Uh-oh. Welcome! Come back soon!
And of course, I'm worried about those who struggle at combat.
Yes, we must do all we can to support them. I'll do my part to watch out for those who need help.
Thank you. We'll do this together.
Support people who struggle with combat, huh? If there's a more perfect job for me out there, I don't know what it is. You ready, Bernadetta? Let's go!
No! Why do I have to do this?
Why do you have to train, you mean?
It's not training, it's weird! This is torture and I'm gonna die!
Hey, calm down. You'll only be fighting me.
You're lying! There are people hiding in this armor and they're gonna attack me, aren't they?
That armor isn't big enough for a person to hide in.
You don't know that! I could absolutely hide inside one.
I mean, yeah, okay. You probably could.
See? I was right! Wait, this isn't the time for me to worry about that! The fact you're plotting against me is the issue here! Why do you hate me?
Look, Edelgard said we need to help people who struggle with fighting, alright? I'm just trying to put that into action.
Nah! You're gonna take me out with a surprise attack from the darkness! I know your game!
And how would I attack you from the darkness when we're standing in the middle of the training grounds in broad daylight? You think all these people walking by would see me try to murder you or whatever and just keep going?
No, they're watching me. I'm sure of it. Your armor is staring at me. Nope, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going home to enjoy a life of freedom without my father.
What? You can't just run out on me here, Bernadetta. I mean, trying to detect people hidden in suits of armor. That's one of my father's traditional training drills. I don't know any other way to do it.
I don't need your lousy support, so just leave me alone!
Maybe I'm not cut out for this kind of thing.
Ah, Happy. How are you finding your time in the Imperial Army?
Pretty normal, I guess. It's nice to be around a lot of people I don't know.
Excellent. For if you were dissatisfied, it could lead to an accident. And I would find that most vexing.
Oh, I have my dissatisfactions. Like the way you're talking to me right now, for starters. But if I sighed over every little thing that bothered me, I'd be dead before I took another breath.
Yes, quite true. By the by, have you considered my proposition? Though I am loath to discuss it, I am a firm believer in using every resource to its utmost.
I don't know. It feels pretty unethical, even if it is technically something we can do. And did you spare a single thought for how I might feel being used like that?
I actually made the proposal based on my estimation of your feelings. I imagine you would enjoy sighing for a greater cause, seeing as you are never able to unleash them freely.
And why exactly would I want to sigh, huh?
As I am not you, I have no answer to that question. I simply thought it might be unpleasant. Being the only one prohibited from performing an action others do as a matter of course, that is.
Right. Well, no, it isn't. And if you're really approaching this thing without considering my feelings, you're so far off the mark I don't know what to tell you.
My, I just thought the woman would enjoy breathing a literal sigh of relief. And to do so in a way where our forces make use of the monster she summons, where is the harm? Alas, I suspect I am in for another mocking at the hands of Her Majesty for how often people mistake me for a heartless cad.
The Bert? Again? Ugh.
Happy. Now that you are calmer, I thought perhaps we might share some tea and treats. But if you're not interested, I am content to deal with them myself.
You really want me to buy into this plan of yours, huh? I told you, the answer's no. Now stay away from me.
I assure you, I have no such ulterior motive here.
Liar.
Yes. Well, I can see any further conversation will be fruitless. In that case, I bid you good day. Had I known this would all be for me, I would have made coffee instead of tea.
Huh? What's coffee?
It does not concern you. Pray forgive my intrusion.
Yeesh. Just being near that guy makes me want to sigh.
Wait up!
Listen here. Oh dear.
Let's see.
Right. Only you would ask the Emperor out on an excursion. Let's be off. I rarely go riding, but find it to be quite liberating. The sun is so warm on my skin. I see why people pine for it so. How nice. Tell me if you see any pretty flowers. Not to pluck, mind you, just to admire. If you would. Do you ever wish you could be completely and utterly alone? It is a daily dream for me. I'm always pleased to see you. Back to work then.
We're too late, Professor. She's the only one left.
What an abhorrent sight.
My Miguel! Give me back my little boy!
I'm so sorry, but your boy is... he's gone. Please, you must live on. Come with us. Leone, will you take her? I'll check down the other way.
Come with me, ma'am. It'll be all right.
We got more bandits! They're kidnappers!
Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. Come on, we need to move.
We are hopelessly outnumbered. It seems these streets will be my grave.
This town's even worse than the others. Quickly! Wait, is that Professor Henneman? Does that fool really think he can contain this alone? Everyone, to me! We're mounting a rescue. I will not lose one more innocent life today.
These monsters are gonna pay.
This is a rescue first and foremost. We must save the townsfolk from danger, as well as the brave fighters defending them. Remember, the perpetrators of this atrocity may be hiding amidst the chaos.
Right then, let us go to work.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches.
It's Birdie's time to shine! Sure hope this goes okay.
There's not a question of can. Only a leave this to me.
If you find them, they ought to be shown no mercy.
To protect the evacuees, we must defend this shelter at all costs. Stay on your guards.
How many of these ruffians are there? I can't protect everyone forever.
Professor Hanneman is in trouble. Hurry! Can't afford to lose him. Die for me!
I will capture this stronghold.
Die for me! Please let us take this place down! I need somewhere to hide!
Out of the way!
I've got this.
I'd rather die than accept aid from the people who killed Captain Gerald. But the townsfolk need you, so I'll put my feelings aside.
Feel no mercy.
Let's do this!
We need help!
You're done!
Any final words?
No nobleman worth his salt can ignore the cries of citizens in danger.
Out of the way!
Any final words?
I must find a way to endure.
What should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Right then. Let us go to work. You appear to need...
You are mine!
Out of the way!
It's Birdie's time to shine!
Not a problem. I've got this.
Stand back.
I never doubted you would come.
Watch this!
Yeah, right.
Help me!
I'm swapping in.
That was certainly close. Yeah, right.
I am much obliged for your assistance.
Thank goodness we got to Professor Hrym in time.
This has been a fine place to conduct business. Keep at it, friends. There's coin to be made.
He must be the one leading the bandits. Time to dole out some justice.
Carry the loot to safety and be quick about it.
Not a problem.
How dare they steal from the people?
It's not over. It's not over.
Move out.
Thank you. That was too close.
Take a breather.
Excellent.
Allow me.
All the
Watch
citizens
this.
are safe.
Is it my turn?
My turn. I've got this.
I won't lose.
We can make sure this plunder is returned to its rightful owners.
What? No, I'm not him. You've got the wrong... Fine, have it your way.
Out of the way! It's not over. Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done!
This should do it.
The double I planted turned out to be a stroke of genius. Now to take my leave while the taking is still good.
Wait, so the other guy was a fake? No fair!
I've got to pay for that!
Wait, I'm just a passing merchant. I'm not... Oh, it was worth a try.
Never back down!
Since you're doing so well, maybe it's okay for me to take it easy a little bit.
Out of the way!
I should have stayed a merchant. The money came easier.
I've seen that rogue before. Wasn't he one of the merchants who frequented Cageccc?
Please! Someone help me!
Kill that man, and strip his bones of whatever you can find.
There's trouble to the east. Hurry! We haven't a moment to lose.
There are still people under attack. We must be giving them assistance.
This monster! You'll pay for this!
Save your breath. You'll need to scream as I tear your limbs from your...
Not a problem.
Here I go. No, they must learn who they're up against.
So, I'll back you up. Hang on!
Right then. I will see my duty done.
You do realize you're dead, yes?
Stand back.
I'll take over. Not good enough! Not happening! Stand aside! Not good enough!
Not a problem.
You my life. Thank you.
All the people have been saved. Now we can be returning to the task at hand. I'm swapping it!
Somebody help. Please, don't leave me behind.
I'm getting...
That man may be depraved, but orchestrating all of this is beyond his meager capability. Our true enemy is those who slither in the dark.
Demonic beast, eh? I wager they have been quite able to spring this little surprise on us.
We can't allow any more damage to the town. We must eliminate the monster ourselves.
I've got it.
Is this poison? You cowards leased your weapons.
It's Leone, right? Look, you've done enough. Come with me and let's get you looked at.
I don't need pity for murderers.
Watch yourselves! This menace will not go down so easily.
Come on! Bigger doesn't mean stronger. You can definitely take it.
So this is the scene where all hope seems lost.
We've come a long way together. And this spell creature is no match for us. You're done!
Allow me.
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
turn. Here it comes! See ya! You're done! Stand back.
I'm sorry, Captain. I couldn't keep my promise.
Thank goodness.
Take a breather.
We no longer have to worry about the town being demolished.
I should have known these thugs would serve as little more than bait. My name is Solon, and I am the savior of this beast-infested world.
I've got... There is our true end. First we will break this magic, then we will break the man himself.
Do not make the foolish mistake of trying to take the man alive. Solon must be struck down, here and now.
I will brook no interference from the beasts.
Fresh enemy soldiers are attacking the shelter.
We've got a friend in trouble. Not a problem. I've got this.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
Of course they would strike where we are most vulnerable. To arms! We must defend the shelter or all is for naught. Bring it down!
Is it my turn?
I'll take over.
Wait. Not a problem. I've got... Not yet. I can still fight.
Is it my turn? Away!
Not a problem. I've got this. That takes care of the barriers. I need only deal with that mage. This stronghold will fall!
I must know how you came by those powers.
It seems our adversaries know something about us after all.
I see trifling with you was a mistake.
I won't lose!
The shelter is safe, and hopefully the enemy is out of such trick. They must look.
I'm swapping in! In the name of Bridget!
What? So be it. Another chance will present itself ere long.
We knew he would try to escape, yet still we cannot stop him.
This should put an end to the disturbance in town. You all fought bravely.
We have finished assessing the damage, and it is a grim picture indeed. Thanks to the swift action of our rescuers, we were able to free the abducted townsfolk. However, there are still countless victims who have lost their homes and families.
The bandits are targeting the most populous towns here, and it appears the Alliance is dealing with the same problem across the river in Ordelia land. I can't give back what they lost. All I can do is give them the time they need to heal and rebuild. Yet, perhaps the most vexing part is that Solon and the others slithered out of our grasp again, and we barely know more about them than when we started.
My apologies, Your Majesty. Their warping magic is unlike the white magic we know, and as yet cannot be disrupted or thwarted. Additionally, a town such as this gives them far too many places to hide.
I'm not blaming you, Hubert.
The guy didn't even seem fazed by us. What do you think they're after?
Nothing savory. That much is certain.
I've heard enough. Proceed as we discussed. Make sure the survivors have everything they need to carry on.
I'm a... Who?
Edelgard, why was it so important for us to suddenly convene like this? We are quite busy preparing to remobilize the troops, you know.
Ah, Ferdinand. Have you not noticed the flock of messengers coming and going?
I doubt anyone's missed it with all the commotion they're causing. What happened?
I am sorry you have to repeat your report. But would you mind telling everyone here what you told us?
I come with the most urgent message from Burgley's territory. Fort Mercius has been seized. It happened after most of the garrison left to deal with Hrym lands. Apparently, some of the remaining troops staged a rebellion from within. At the same time, the fort was besieged by unidentified mages, along with the army of the former Duke Eyre. Together, they managed to reach the heart of the fortress and seize control. As we speak, they hold hostage many key commanders and their families.
Eyre? Then the man behind all this is...
The former Duke himself, my lord. It seems he's come out of hiding.
I see.
They're using the hostages as leverage over our loyal soldiers to force them into their ranks. It seems they intend to use the fort as a launch point for a march on the capital.
Wait, what? That's catastrophic!
My brother is stationed at Fort Merceus. Is he even doing anything about it?
Count Burgleys' successor, who was serving as the provisional garrison commander, was taken prisoner. Apparently, he made the prudent decision of refusing to join the rebellion.
Not sure if that's good news or bad news, but I know I'm glad he's not dead.
The former Duke Ire has vowed to overthrow the Emperor, and is even now calling on the other lords to join the cause. To my knowledge, there have been no takers so far, but given time, who can say?
There is no shortage of rotten nobles, whose status and interests were set aside by Her Majesty's reforms. There is unrest ahead in the Empire. Make no mistake.
As if we haven't dealt with a lifetime's worth already. Obviously, these people don't care about anyone but themselves.
This is calling for swift action. We must retake the fort with quickness.
Our fortunes continue taking one poor turn after another. Still, there's nothing for it. We must deal with Ire's machinations immediately and decisively.
Try to look on the bright side, Your Majesty. This could be our chance to dispose of everyone who opposes you in one fell swoop.